Hi, my name is NAGYEDi and I'm a singer-songwriter from Hungary living in North London. I used to play live at least once a week. I had my own band and I was also a backing vocalist in more bands and took part in different theatre art projects, so being on the stage is quite essential to me, and not being on the stage hurts. I wanted to be a singer already as a little girl. My auntie used to be a singer herself. She called me little prima donna, and I was posing and acting and listening to music and singing Michael Jackson in a very unique way, sitting on a potty. I've got a picture of this. One of the best gigs I've ever been to was the best for me, but not the best for the people around me. Saying because I was a huge fan of Alanis Morissette when I was a teenager, and I still love her, of course. But that time, I only listened to her songs. I tried to learn them. I was like memorizing the lyrics like crazy and trying to understand what she's singing about. And I also learned the backing vocals. So when she performed at Sziget Festival in 2008, I guess, I was there, of course, and she didn't have any backing vocalists, and I knew all the vocals, and I have quite a strong voice, and people around me, they asked me to stop singing. It must have been very annoying. Well, for me it was fun. My favorite performance of my own is, and it's a very tricky question because now all those beautiful memories are popping up in my head. The most touching and most uplifting one was when I first time heard the audience singing my songs with me, and that was great. The reason performing live is so important to me is the interaction with people. For me, singing on a stage is like drinking a coffee and having a nice chat with my best friend. I usually write songs about my feelings, and I tell my stories that sometimes describe only a second or just like a moment. And I can be quite introverted, but I put everything into my songs. So sometimes people don't even know me, but through my songs they know more about me than I should have shared. But when there are people there to listen to you, the magic can happen. Yeah, very different. I used the QSC system in different ways. My first thing was to do a quick sound check for my voice, because that's my main instrument. So I quickly set it up. It was very easy, and I tried it as a monitor, and I was just like singing using the mixer, the built-in mixer, and it was amazing. I sounded like an angel, and I kept singing and singing and singing, and I got inspired by the sound so much that I quickly wrote a little song, and I recorded it with the looper, and I shared it already. But my guitarist friend Peter, living very close to me, said that he can't get it out of his head. So let's record it with the guitar, and that's what we did. So I used it for my vocals, and as a monitor I used the built-in mixer. I also connected the speakers to another mixer. I used the subwoofer for beatbox. And also I used it for mixing, because I just started learning how to produce my own songs. It's very lockdowny, and yeah, it was amazing. I either play acoustic gigs in coffee shops, art galleries, smaller venues, or with a whole band. at like mid-sized clubs or art festivals. We're super lucky with the neighbors because they're artists. I think they were happy to finally have a proper sound next door. The sub is super powerful, but it's got this soft sound. And we also have an 8-month-old baby, never complained. He's actually addicted to music, and he only complains about not playing anything. So we're very lucky with the neighbors, lucky with the baby. Well, the baby makes recording a little bit tricky, but no complaint. I remember when I started singing professionally and I only had a microphone and I carried it everywhere. It was always in my bag and maybe sometimes with a cable. And then somehow my bag started gaining. There was a looper in it, more cables, and my plan is to even get a bigger bag. Because that time I usually play together with other people, musicians who play their instruments. It was even either just a guitar or a piano or a whole band. Sometimes it was a cello and a double bass as well. Sometimes we had to carry our own amps or our little speaker. And my worst experience so far, I don't really have, or, you know, like after so much time, you don't even remember the bad things, is related to the sound. Because the sound engineer just didn't arrive, and we were setting up the stage and patiently waiting for him, and he never came. And luckily, our friend, who's a sound engineer, just popped in to say hi, and we were like, no, you're not gonna leave. You have to stay here and help us out of this. It was terrible at the beginning, but then it became like a pretty cool experience. I wish every PA system I've ever seen and heard was as easy to set up and sounding as beautiful as this. Yeah, because that's what we need. We need good sound, and we want to use them quickly. So it was very easy. I'm not technical at all, and I set it up in a second. Like actually finding the right place inside our little studio flat took longer than setting them up, and it absolutely fulfilled our expectations. So I wish every PA system I've ever seen and heard was as easy to set up and sounding as beautiful as this, because this is what we need, right? We need good sound and simplicity. I hope to see you soon somewhere live.